Hello everyone, we are here today to discuss Sally Sue Smith. She is 6 years of age. She was born on February the 17th, 2011, and she is a kindergarten student. She lives with her parents and she has one older sister. The family speaks mainly Spanish and some English at home. Her dad is the pastor of a Hispanic church in the Humboldt Park neighborhood. The family is originally from Puerto Rico, but Sally and her sister were born in the United States. She comes from a stable, nurturing, and godly family. They are very affectionate and caring. When the school year started, Sally experienced anxiety in the classroom and would vomit regularly. As she became comfortable with the teacher and made solid friendships, her anxiety became less and less, and her crying and vomiting spells ended. In addition to receiving Title I services at school, she also goes for counseling once a week. This is provided through Moody Bible Institute, a Christian college in Chicago. The counselor comes on Wednesdays, and topics covered are social, emotional well-being. They address how she can thrive academically, socially, adjusting to life changes and changes in mood or behavior. Sally is currently in kindergarten at Oak Private School. She receives Title I services and counseling services. Report card grades are noted to be generally satisfactory for her level. Her ability to read is in the beginning stages. The A to Z reading assessments show that she is at the reading level B, which is right where she needs to be for kindergarten level. Informal and formal math tests show that she is excellent at math. Currently, Sally's homeroom teacher finds that she needs more direct instruction with letter sounds and word recognition. She has good attendance records and is usually punctual. Her parents indicate, however, that she has no organization and time management skills. There are no medical issues that we need to be concerned about. Sally was observed on several occasions in her classroom by this examiner. She was working with a partner and was enjoying being read to. Her partner was an older second-grade student who is an avid reader. She was enjoying reading pictures and was engaging thoughtfully. She was asking questions and usually smiled a lot. Since she is a developing reader and longs to read fluently, it appears that she was making a strong attempt to recognize the words. There were about 15 students present. It was quite clear that Sally is a visual spatial learner. She was very captivated by pictures and colors. She also enjoyed making things with Play-Doh, and whenever there was movement and music involved, her face would light up. Classroom activity level was noted to be busy. There were 4 different grades in the classroom, and students were placed in differentiated learning centers. The students were involved in learning activities such as writing, individual reading, partner reading, word and picture recognition puzzles, sequencing puzzles, letter and word activities on iPads. The teacher was rotating through all the centers and she was keeping students on task. Sally and other students present were benefiting from the structure of the class as set forth and maintained by the teacher. Overall, Sally appeared to be able to stay on task well throughout the observation and demonstrated adequate effort most of the times. Twice she seemed distracted and wanted to drift, but her partner gently brought her back into the activity. Sally participated in one session to complete this evaluation. Each time she accompanied this examiner to the testing room. She was of average height, 3 feet. She was noted to be a right-handed worker throughout the testing, and there were no problems with gait, fine motor, or gross development. Neither were there problems with vision and hearing. Speech and language development appeared to be consistent with students her age. In fact, she was very alert to answer questions, but the examiner had to repeat some questions to her. She was given a formal test on reading readiness. At the start, she appeared to be tense, since any type of formal testing makes her uncomfortable. She has gained some confidence in testing situations, though. The examiner tried to make it natural by speaking kindly and slowly, and this seemed to keep her at ease. The first part of the test was for her to recognize capital letters, which she did after 2 attempts. Recognizing lowercase letters came easy for her. She was able to name beginning and ending sounds, and when given a letter name, said words that began with that letter. She was not able to recognize color words, number words, or even rhyming words. She was unable to reproduce rhyming words. Overall, Sally appeared to stay on task. Rapport was easily established and maintained with Sally. Even though she was not initiating a lot of conversation, she responded well to questions that the examiner asked her. Now we're going to take a look at the testings that were given to her, and we're going to start, I'm going to start with visual motor integration. Okay, so visual motor integration is a developmental sequence of geometric forms to be copied with paper and pencil. It is designed to assess the extent to which students can integrate their visual and motor abilities. On the VMI, Sally received a standard score of 109, which is within the average range for her age at the 75th percentile. Let's move on to cognitive functioning. And she was given the Kaufman Brief Intelligence Test. This is also known as the KBIT, which is a short, individually administered test of verbal and nonverbal abilities. Sally's KBIT vocabulary scores indicates current ability to process verbal information, to think with words, to fall within the average range of the 61st percentile. During this test, she was intimidated by words because she fidgeted a lot and was looking around the room to distract herself. It appeared as though she was stressed and wanted a way out. On a positive note, as you can see on the graph, Sally's matrices score, which indicates a student's potential to perform nonverbal reasoning tasks, falls within the well above average to upper extreme range at the 97th percentile. She thoroughly enjoyed the matrices aspect of this test. She eagerly answered, and she was ready for the next image and the next. Since matrices is significantly higher, Sally demonstrates much greater potential for success on tasks in which language is not an essential component. This is evident in her daily participation as well in the classroom. Any activity not involving language components brings out the best in her, and she's animated and excited. Now let's move on to language functioning. This involves self-testing, and she was tested in these 4 areas. Okay, the phonological awareness test is designed to gather information about phonological skills across 17 different tasks. Each task has 5 items, and they measure mastery of that particular skill. So here, Sally received a score of 54. Her score exceeds the criteria score of greater than or equal to 24, so she did meet the criteria for her age. The rapid automatic naming test is used to evaluate the ability to produce automatic speech. Sally is asked to name familiar colors, shapes, and shape-color combinations. This is a supplementary criterion reference subtest used to gain additional information about Sally's accuracy and speed of speech production. So here she made 6 errors, and her score falls within the normal range for her age. So it took her 3 minutes and 75 seconds to complete this. So she is falling within the non-normal range for her age. The word association subtest is used to evaluate the ability to name members of semantic groups within a time limit. Here she was asked to name words in specific categories within 1 minute. Sally received a score of 23 on word associations. Her score met the criteria score for her age. Her score of 23 exceeds the criteria score of greater than or equal to 13. She was also given the number repetition working subtest from the SEL-4 as well. And number repetition measures the ability to repeat random digit sequences of increasing length, forward and backward. Sally's score is seen to fall within the average range at the 66th percentile, and she did meet the criteria for her age as well. Okay, now let's move on to academic functioning. For spelling, she was given the subtest from the Wechsler Individual Achievement Test. Her overall standard spelling score is 104 plus minus 6 confidence level at a percentile of 61%. So this puts her in the average classification. Sally's likely true score in spelling falls within the range of 45 to 75. This means that she may only be better than 45% of the population or perhaps better than 75% when it comes to spelling. Okay, let's move on to her curriculum-based measurement test. She participated in a reading fluency test and a math test as well. She was given the CBM assessment on kindergarten word list. Reading standard score for her was 85 at a percentile of 16, which falls within the low average classification. Sally was given a curriculum-based reading probe at the kindergarten grade level. The results showed that she was unable to read most of the words. This test was administered for 5 minutes. Out of 32 words, she was able to read 7. Some of the words were 1 grade level higher. This was a general outcome measure that tested her ability in oral reading fluency. Even though she was able to coordinate different foundational skills such as knowledge of letter sounds, skills in automaticity with blending sounds to produce words, her performance reflected that she is below grade level. Her overall math standard score was 119 at the 90th percentile with high average classification, as you can see here. It appears that she has a natural tendency toward computation and analytical skills. Sally was presented with a paper test with math problems that covered counting and cardinality, geometry operations and algebraic thinking, number and operations in base 10, and measurement and data. These were administered at the kindergarten level. There were 10 questions and she completed them within 5 minutes. Each question was read to her aloud by the examiner and she chose the answer from the multiple choice options. This test was based on skill-based measures in math for kindergarten level. Since she has mastered the above-mentioned areas, she is now challenged to work on first-grade math in the above-tested topics. Okay, let's discuss her social and emotional functioning. In the student interview, Sally expressed that she enjoys reading, playing with friends, and making things with her friends like buildings. She dislikes cleaning her room, and her least favorite thing to do in school is writing. She said with great emotion, "My hands get tired when I'm writing." Her favorite movies are My Little Pony, Inside Out, and Trolls. Her best friends are older girls from 2nd grade, which is very interesting. She loves school and her favorite subjects are math, reading words, and only tracing letters. She enjoys learning new things at school and looks forward to creating things out of Play-Doh. She dreams of being a teacher when she grows up. She loves being in church with her family and going to interesting places. Her family is very close-knit, and she also possesses strong leadership qualities, and sometimes this comes out in bullying other students, but she is working on this. Her parents completed the Vanderbilt ADHD Diagnostic Parent Rating Scale. The results show that she falls in the predominantly inattentive subtype as well as hyperactive subtype. Some things that the parents reflected in this rating scale were she does not pay attention to details, does not follow simple directions, is unable to complete tasks, is forgetful, fidgets with hands and feet, and is easily distracted by noises. They think that her performance in school is average, considering she is strong in math skills but weaker in literacy activities. Evaluation summary. In spite of the fact that Sally's growth appears to be slower than her peers, it should be noted that her math skills are superior for her level. In fact, it's above level. She has shown excellent fluid reasoning and analytical skills. She may need direct instruction and continued practice in reading word problems. For the VMI testing, she was very engaged and excited to reproduce the shapes and patterns provided. This was no surprise since she enjoys creating patterns and things with art supplies and Play-Doh. Her student interview also reflected that she enjoys creating patterns, buildings, animals, and wherever her creative juices flow. Sally's cognitive functioning seems to be overall positive and is another area of strength. Her vocabulary score indicates current ability to process verbal information or think with words to fall within the average range. Her matrices score indicates a student's potential to perform nonverbal reasoning tasks, and this falls well above the 97th percentile. Despite these strengths, Sally has some possible language difficulties that might hinder her learning. She struggles with rhyming words and is emergent. If she is told to come up with rhyming words on her own, she is unable to do it. However, if given 3 words such as bat, cat, and pig, she can easily identify that bat and cat rhyme. She is also emergent on beginning, middle, and ending sounds. Here are some suggestions based on this current evaluation. Sally will continue to need and benefit from direct literacy instructions and experiences that suit her learning modalities, such as visual, spatial, kinesthetic, and tactile. These would include the following, but are not limited to: 1. Teachers should ensure that Sally shows mastery of material before moving on. If she's taught something incompletely, she may not be able to recall or reconstruct it in the future. Secondly, she should meet regularly with a language pathologist that comes weekly to the school to strengthen her language fluency skills. Thirdly, she needs assistance developing literacy skills and vocabulary. Teachers should consider pre-teaching vocabulary words, and she should be directed to play word games and listen to books on CDs. She should be given the freedom to ask questions about words and letter sounds she's working on. Visual and spatial stimulation in the classroom would be great for her progress as well. And finally, she should continue to meet with a Title I teacher every day and her counselor at school weekly. My closing question for all of you is this. Sally's parents and teachers struggle to find ways to instill organization and time management skills in Sally. What are your suggestions for them? I look forward to your feedback, and have a great evening, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much.